And this will be the bar. If I can't get an alcohol license, I think I'm really going to come unstuck here. I'm Paul, and I left the corporate world to come here to Sri Lanka to start a new business and a new life. Join me and see how it's going. Hello again. Well, today is the Buddhist New Year, so it's a very auspicious day to be doing this. I'm at project number 2. Project number 1 is the hotel, and you can see all about that in another video, but this is project number 2 that I also have to get open very quickly, and it's a big adventure. This is a beachside place, and this isn't really focused on accommodation like a hotel. We do have some rooms here, but mainly it's going to be a restaurant, bar, swimming pool, and a kind of social place rather than a accommodation or hotel. But I'll give you a walk through now. This is a big adventure for me. We have some big challenges and a lot to do in a short time. I'm happy to share this with you, and I hope that some of you will give some ideas in the comments. You may be more clever than me and give me some good advice. Who knows? So let's go and take a look. So I got this land about 5 years ago. It was just empty land, so everything that's here now has been built since then. And the original idea was to try and do a hotel. But actually I've changed my mind. I think because it's the beachfront, the kind of area that it's in, it's actually much more suitable to be a kind of bar and restaurant kind of place. So behind here is a seating area, look out at the sea, have some drinks, have some food. I mean, who could not want to come here and enjoy this? It's absolutely fantastic. Let's just take a quick break and have some fun with the dogs on the way. Right, Chi-Chi's the big dog and is about a year old, and Casper is only about 3 months old, but she's been learning to chase the ball. And now she's finally learnt it. So, ready? Yes! Very good. So people can sit outside here and see the sea, and then there's a small stage area for entertainment, music. We've had a DJ here before. This works quite well. And then also I'd really love to have a live comedy club. I love live comedy, so it'd be really fantastic to try and do something like that here, to have live comedians and look out to the sea. It'd be fantastic. But who knows? We have to try to get open first. And this area at the moment is a temporary kind of a physiotherapy area for my partner who's having physiotherapy every day. But eventually it will be back to a very nice restaurant. And I really want to find a local artist or somebody who can do some nice murals and some good kind of rock and roll style stuff in here. I think this will look pretty good. And this will be the bar. If I can't get an alcohol license, I think I'm really going to come unstuck here. But assuming that we can, then I think we can get a good crowd in. We can get a kind of after work crowd. We can get a nice crowd of local people on Saturdays and Sundays and holiday days, and we can pull in a nice tourist crowd. So I'm pretty sure it's going to work out. So would you like a drink?
It's good to see you. It's good to be back, Lloyd. What'll it be, sir?
On the other side, we have a swimming pool. This is under construction at the moment. This has been going on for about the last month. So the bottom slab is in now. Maybe another 2 months and it should be complete. Construction here goes slow because when it rains you can't work. You obviously can't do concrete pouring or anything like that or work outside in the rain. So it's a little bit dependent upon the weather, but at the moment it's been pretty dry. So maybe 2 months and this pool will be finished. So people will be able to come, use the pool, have some drinks, have some food, bring the family or come with their group of friends. And then afterwards they'll be able to sit and look out to the sea. So this is kind of pretty good, I think. So that's why I wanted to make it more like a restaurant and bar rather than a hotel, because I think it's more fun in this area. You can get a lot of nice people in this area who will come and visit, and it's much more fun if it's a bar and restaurant than just trying to focus on the hotel. And there's a big hotel next door, so they can focus on that market and leave me to do my thing in here. Right, so we're walking through now away from the sea towards the beach road. There's no reason why we couldn't open now, but the swimming pool construction is kind of messy, and I think it'd just be too much. And all the concrete on the flooring, everything it needs a repaint when it's finished. So as soon as the swimming pool's done, then it'll be all hands on deck to get it all spick and span, and then we can go for it. So walking out to the main road along the beach now, There's some staff accommodation here, and there's a kitchen, and there's also the oldest washing machine in Sri Lanka, I think. But I'm a proud owner of maybe the most expensive washing machine in Sri Lanka, which is in the other place. So I'll show you that in a different video. So here people will park, and now we're out on the beach road. So now we're going to go back inside, and we're going to go upstairs to the first and second floor. Yeah? And we're going to go up onto the first floor. And as I said, I changed my mind a little bit about this place, because originally the first floor was going to be the main restaurant area. This was going to be the sort of seating area for food and stuff, and to do a proper hotel style restaurant. But I don't really want to do that now. And so this first floor area is still completely empty. But what we're going to do with it is have a pool table and a kind of sports bar. So we'll have maybe some darts, maybe a pool table, maybe some other things that you can play in a pub. Not really sure yet, but something like that. So this will be a kind of drinks, another drinking area, food, pool table, dartboard, this kind of idea. Right, now we're moving up from the first floor to go up to the upper level, and this is where the construction story starts to end. The structure's up completely for here, and the rooms are kind of generally set out in block work, but none of the rooms are built or anywhere near fitted out. Welcome to the second floor, the top. This is built out at the moment for accommodation for 4 separate rooms.
I really need to be careful here because I could fall off the edge. So my thinking about these rooms has been really so far that we just fit them out of standard hotel rooms. But I'm not so sure about that now, because I want the ground floor to have a pretty relaxed kind of atmosphere. You know, if we're going to have music and we're going to have kind of attracting independent types of tourists, would be the ideal kind of clientele. And so we're not giving people to the restaurant from the hotel rooms. We're attracting people to the bar and the restaurant and the place generally in the pool. And then if they want a hotel room, they can have one. Okay, that's really the way I want to work it, if I can. So maybe the style of the hotel room needs to suit the style of the bar. And if the bar is attracting what is kind of more independent traveller-minded people, then maybe these rooms need to be more of a budget option for people to stay a few nights cheaply and then move on. And that might actually make it work better here. I don't really want to say backpacker, but you kind of know what I mean if I say that. And I don't also want to say a younger crowd, because I'm a Gen X, and part of these videos is that you can have adventures in your life when you're not young. So I am also not saying that, because there are independent travellers of all ages. So I need to think about how this fits in with the bar below, because it all has to hang together properly. So what we'll do is we'll open downstairs, we'll see how that goes, and then we'll make a decision about these rooms. And they could be a standard fit out, or they could be a more budget option. A more budget option would be cheaper to build and fit out, but you get a lower room rate. So that's the reality. So we have to think about how that can all work together. And if we're going to go for a kind of standard room fit out here, then it might be worth thinking about the floor below, the second floor, fitting that out as hotel rooms as well, because the more rooms, more cash coming in, more rooms we can rent, and a decent room rate, well, the whole place will work better. But it all really depends on whether we can make the ground floor work first. So that's where we are really.
Now let's walk along to the most important room. And the one thing I do want to keep is the room behind me, because the room behind me has a fantastic view looking out across into Bompitia and the rest of the town. And then round this way has a fantastic view to Colombo over there, and a fantastic view out to sea. So this room, whatever happens, it has my name on it. This is going to be my office and living room at some point between now and when I die. And I hope it will be faster than I imagine. It's quite nice. I could be very happy here. The dog here, Casper, is going completely wild because she found a crab. And a crab here is like about 30 meters from the beach. I don't really know how they get here, but they must sort of gradually make their way up in the wrong direction. So the poor crab is on the concrete, and I don't think Casper's ever met a crab before, so it's a kind of battle of the wheels really about who's going to win. So let's let them get on with that. So what's the strategy for here, I think, is the question. And I see it in 4 parts. Okay, so part 1 is to finish the construction of the ground floor so that we can open. Okay, so that means finish the swimming pool. I think there's about 8 to 10 weeks until that's complete. Okay, they've got to do the tiling and all of that. They've got to finish up some concrete. So there's a fair bit to go, but about 8 to 10 weeks realistically. And them doing that work is messy construction. So once that's done, everything needs a lick of paint. We need to get some better decorations in the bar area. We need to get sort of nicer furniture, maybe some other facilities in there, general stuff that you need to run a commercial place. But that's only the physical things, okay? So stage 2 is to actually open up. We need to do some marketing to get people in. We need to let people know we're here. We need to employ a chef. We need to probably have a DJ on the Friday, Saturday. We need to do some advertising and some marketing to let people know that we're here. I don't think that's going to be too challenging. I think that will all happen. So that would be nice. So that's the sort of second stage. And we can't really do that at the same time as dealing with the hotel, project 1. It's too much. So we need to do that first. But hopefully by the time we've dealt with project 1, we'll be free to go here. So that's stage 2, is to actually open and see if we can make this a proper business. And that would be really nice. This is where I'm living at the moment. It'd be really nice if this was actually a proper place with things going on. And then stage 3 is the first floor, the big open area. I have 2 ideas about that really. I think that we can use it as a sports bar, but there is a downside of that because we're right near the sea, and because the air is salty, it decays everything very quickly. Anything that's rusty or rustable rusts very fast. You know, there's some hinges on the gate here, and they've only been up there for maybe 2 or 3 months, and already they're corroded. So you have to wash everything down all the time to try to keep it in good condition. And so if we try to do that with a pool table and a dartboard and TVs, etc., then we might find that day 1 it's all very nice, but after about a month or so it all starts to get a bit not so nice. You know, things will start to get mouldy because of the damp air, and some of the electrical things will start to go wrong. And that is an open area, so maybe that idea of having it as a sports bar is a nice idea, but maybe not so practical. So another option there is to just fit it out as accommodation and have another floor of rooms, or to fit it out as one big room, which would be like a studio apartment that a group of people could rent out. You know, a family, or it could be 5 or 6 people come for the weekend, this kind of idea. And they have it as a self-contained space. They can have all their washing facilities and everything there. They have a balcony. So that might work, and we get a very good room rate for that. So that's also an option. So that's kind of stage 3. You need to make your mind up about that. And then stage 4 is the top floor accommodation. If we decide to do a room on the first floor, then we'll do all of it in one go and get it all fitted out. The biggest piece of construction there is we need to put the roof on. But we've had a roof fitted here before, so that's not such a big deal. We can do that and get that done. So that's the kind of 4 stages, but obviously stage 1 and stage 2 need to happen and be fairly promising and successful for us to go ahead with the rest. So there's a lot to be sorted out there. I need to put a budget together for if we try to fit it out as rooms and see how much that's really going to cost against what we get back as a room rate, and decide what to do. So there you are, that's it. Lots to do. So let's hope it all turns out okay.